Alright, what's going on, Dark and Darkers, Dungeon Delvers? If you haven't heard the news yet, then I'm happy to break it open for you. We have an official date for the wipe. It's going to be sometime around March the 14th. We also have a nice roadmap coming from SDF. And so, first and foremost, this week in February, we're going to have some balance changes and game fixes on the way as announced in the official Discord by SDF. Additionally, we have just a lot of info coming out, so I'm going to try to just one-take this and do what we can. But what's happened is, due to the dupes and the server lag and instability, they've decided to extend the leaderboard season another week after its proposed leaderboard end date as shown in-game. So this is going to bring us to a February 29th end of the leaderboard season. So if you haven't gotten Demigod yet, now is the time. Please check out my golden AP maxing guide if you want to make it. You can definitely make it in the next 10 days or so. So after the February 29th end of this leaderboard season, we're going to have a kind of cooldown period to relax and prepare for the next season. This is going to be sometime around 2 weeks. So with all this in mind, with the 3 days to the leaderboard was supposed to be over the week edition, we now have plus 10 days, and then a 2-week period to relax. So about 24 days from now, we're heading into a wipe. I'm going to be using sort of Thursday as our schedule for all this. So the leaderboard was going to end on Thursday, the 22nd or so, and then now we get an extra week to participate, and then 2 weeks on top of that before the leaderboard ends. So the reason why this is important is because whatever day they choose, Thursday or Friday, each consecutive week after that, we're going to have a time-gated quest locked system, which is really interesting. This is going to be very, very good for the more casual player base and give the sort of more competitive and elite players something to stack up their banks for and prepare. So what I mean by this is that as we head into each consecutive week after the wipe, so March 14th will be the wipe, and we will get the first chapter of quests unlocking along with all the rewards that are going to be from those quests. And then the following week, March the 21st, we will have the time-gated quest chapter 2 unlocks. And then March 28th for chapter 3, April 4th for chapter 4, and finally on April the 11th, all quests will unlock. So players that start the wipe 5 weeks late, they won't have to worry about any of this. They can just do all their quests at once. But what this will do is it will give us a sort of sense of progression and allow us to stockpile gold and quest mats. And so we'll still be farming and banking, and then we'll just have to see what kind of quests unlock along with which maps that they will be available for. Now, along with the wipe, we have an absolute ton of content coming our way. A lot of this is speculative based on the screenshots that SDF has provided for us, but this was all talked about in Discord, and I'm now compiling it for you here for this roadmap and wipe video. So we've got the Squire Merchant, which is supposed to help normal dungeon delvers get all the equipment and tools that they need to have a safe and productive dungeon. And what's fun about this is that they're also adding an adventure point system for normals. So we will have a kind of ranked mode or leaderboard mode for normals, which should also unlock adventure point reward tracks similar to what we had this season in High Roller. So the coolest part about this is that we're going to get arena at some point, and you can kind of see what they're doing here. We're going to have a normal adventure point reward track system, an HR reward point adventure track system, and then probably we're going to get some sort of ranked mode for arena where we will also get seasonal, progressional, cosmetic, and account-based rewards. So you'll have a multitude of things that you can do on like the sort of daily, weekly, monthly, and wipe basis. Now, along with all of these things that we're getting, it's just going to keep piling on. And keep in mind, guys, a lot of this is just theory crafted. We don't have concrete confirmation on all of this. And SDF even said that these are a lot of things that they want to do or that they are heading toward. And so all of this is going to be subject to change. But one of the fun things that should be coming our way, and we've heard them talk about this before in the Q&As with OnePeg, is this sort of gear insurance system that's going to be similar to Tarkov. Now, if you haven't played Escape from Tarkov, the way insurance works there is that you pay to insure your gear, and if you die, whatever gear is not taken out of raid by another player can be scavenged and then returned to you over a period of hours or days, depending on what level of insurance you buy. So for Dark and Darker, we are going to have the Goblin Merchant covered in grease, slithering his way into the dungeon to recover your lost gear that other players don't pick up. We will also have the inclusion of this new sort of Expressman NPC. The way that SDF described this is that it's going to deliver items from the dungeon safely to you. And the way that I interpreted this is that probably because we're having these sort of 3-layer maps, like Ruins to Crypts to Inferno, and we're always filling up all of our bags, there's a lot of risk versus reward there as well. They also said they want to have a 3-layer map for the Ice Mountain going all the way down into the Ice Abyss to fight the Ice Dragon. And so our thoughts is that the Expressman is going to be some sort of NPC inside the dungeon that you can give loot to, and he will then deliver that to your stash. Maybe you can pay to have it delivered sooner, sort of like insurance. There might be a certain amount of levels that you can buy with the Expressman. Alright, so next up we have a couple more big changes coming to Dark and Darker. And these are going to be a little more dangerous, I want to say, because we already have a lot of the vocal voices across both Reddit and Discord piping up on this, and this is going to be totally fair, and you guys should be leaving your feedback for the devs if you want to see these changes happen or you want to see other things change. And what I mean by this is, first and foremost, they will be removing the duo queue from the game. So we will no longer have the ability to queue as a 2-man party. It will now just be solos and trios. But the reward for doing this is that solos and trios will be able to go onto every map at any given time. So the rotation system that we've seen kind of go through changes the last couple weeks will be gone. And now, as a solo, you'll be able to queue into Ice Mountain, the Forgotten Castle, which is Ruins to Inferno, or Goblin Cave. And the same thing for trios. And the reason that this is happening is because the player base is slowly facing a couple problems because we have so many different queues with normals and HR, along with 6 regions. And in order to combat this as well, coming with this change is going to be the removal of regional queuing. So you can no longer choose if you would like to go to US West or US East, South America or Southeast Asia. So the 6 regions to matchmake into will be gone. I don't know what they plan to do with that idea, but I'm sure largely they will do some form of global matchmaking that makes sense. Maybe there'll only be 4 regions instead of 6, maybe 5. But between removing the ability to choose your own region and the duo queue, it should make all of the players that we have more likely to match together to get full lobbies and a better MMR system, so the kind of neophyte to wanderers aren't being matched with the demigod full gold sweatlords, is my thought process. All of these things that are trying to solve the matchmaking bracket system, teaming, and to ensure that our population have fair and balanced games, the biggest part that's going to be going into this is the introduction to a party matchmaking system. So Dark and Darker will begin to fall in line with other Battle Royale system games like Apex Legends and Fortnite, where when you queue for trios and you do not have a pre-made party, you can either go by yourself or it will pre-fill teammates for you. So we currently have a feature similar to this in the Tavern, but it's more of a text-based way to find a group, sort of an LFG, a looking for group channel. Now you will autofill into a party if you wish to use this system. So that's going to bring us more in line as well with the idea that originally, way back, the devs wanted to bring this game to consoles and to Steam. And so when you get it spread across these kind of platforms, you're going to have players who are sitting on their couch that just want to do party matchmaking. They just want to drop into a couple of matches, play casually, have fun, and treat it like a battle royale. So this is going to be your quick and easy system to just play a match, maybe trying to go kill a lich with some random people. But it's not going to be what you want to bring your best gear into, right? Because you don't know who you're going to match with. There could be some friendly fire going on. There could be some low skill expression. And so overall, you're going to want to kind of temper your expectations and just drop in and have fun with, you know, just random people, or on a Friday night, play a couple games. I'm imagining a lot of people will use this system just naked. They'll just drop in and they'll go to a dungeon. You know, maybe it'll be the player's first times going into HR. Or for normals, I think it'll be a good way to find friends and run groups and get some content knocked out and try to complete some quests. So as I mentioned earlier, every single week after the wipe, we will get a new chapter of quests unlocking. And I find this system interesting in that it will be a gated system, so we probably won't... The way I envision this is that the first week we'll be able to get blue weapons of the sterling variety from silver, so we can slay undead easier and start bossing. And then week 2 we'll probably get our purple weapons of righteousness. Week 3 will likely be our legendary sterling weapons of undead slaying. And then finally, week 4 and beyond will be the upper tiers of quest rewards, like golden gear. And we already have these quest chapters. They just haven't really been blocked together into a chapter. We just have all of the quests ready to us. The tricky trades, the goblin quest, the armor quest, the weaponsmith quest, etc. We'll more likely see the easier quests for week 1, and then sort of the intermediate quests for week 2 and 3, and then finally the advanced, you know, Ice Dragon, Lich, Warlord, and Ghost King quests sometime around week 4 and beyond. Alright, finally we get to the part that everybody's been waiting for, the real meat of the wipe and the upcoming content additions. This is going to be our PvP arena, the release of the much anticipated and awaited Druid class with all of its transformations, from Panther to Bear to Penguin and beyond, and also the upcoming Ice Abyss, which will host our first dragon, the Ice Wyvern. These are non-solidified dates. SDF says the team is working really hard to bring the Druid and the Ice Abyss along with the Ice Wyvern out to us, and to finish the sort of 3-layer Ice Mountain map cycle along with the new quests that will be associated with that map cluster. And so all of these things are on the way. We don't really have exactly solid dates. I'm hoping we get Druid pretty early so we can get the testing phase out of the way, and it'll become a well-balanced sort of PvP machine. And then the PvP arena, they said they want to release as soon as possible. The early version of it is done, and they've been doing testing on it. And so sometime, I really wanted to place it like 2 weeks after the wipe, maybe when we get that sort of second or third quest cluster, like quest chapter going, we will get the new PvP arena. But he just said he wants to get it out within a couple weeks. So I don't want to put a solid date on this. I'm guessing March for a lot of this, but it could be early April. We will see. But there is a lot on the way for Dark and Darker. So if you haven't been playing or you've been looking forward to the wipe, it is now confirmed to be sometime around March 14th. With an absolute ton of new content, quality of life additions, as well as I can confidently say that a lot of the quest items that we couldn't find this wipe, I know personally I could not find a centaur hoof all wipe. I know people that never saw a spider silk, and so a lot of these items have already been tuned up. Getting troll pelts and wolf pelts has never been easier. You can get several per day depending on how much you've been farming. But I can definitely say with utmost confidence that these hard to find items that really locked us behind certain quests and were a little bit aggravating are becoming easier to get, and they will have a higher drop rate in the next wipe. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the luck, the follows, and the love. I'm looking forward to the wipe as much as you all are. Get out there and learn Cyclops and the Troll. Go kill Warlord. There's still plenty of content to be had this wipe, and I'll see ya for the next one.